Good morning, Piqua, Washington Elementary students. I am Lisa Combs, and I'm your guest reader for this next story. And maybe something that's unusual about the story I've selected to read today is that I'm the author of it. I wonder how many of you guys have ever thought about writing your own books. That used to be a real dream of mine when I was a kid, and it's come true as an adult. And you know how I did it? And I would suggest every single one of you guys do the same thing. When you get a great idea for a book, you should always write it down in a journal, just an idea journal that you can keep track of your ideas. That's what I do still, is I write down all my ideas so that when I have some time to write, I can come back to those ideas and choose one. And so you might just do that for yourself. That way, even if you have a writing assignment in class and you're supposed to come up with something to write about, you have a whole log of ideas that you've already thought about. Well, today, the book that I'm going to read that I wrote is called Small Things. And I want to bring your attention to the page just inside. So we have the title page, as we always do in a book, right? Small Things. And then there's a page that has what's called a display quote. Sometimes it's a dedication where someone has dedicated the book to someone. And sometimes it has a display quote. And a display quote is something that is maybe a quote by someone famous that sums up an idea in the book. So I'm going to read that to you first, and then we'll dive into the book. The display quote says, "Not all of us can do great things, but we can all do small things with great love." And that is one of my favorite quotes. It's by a lady named Mother Teresa, who was kind of famous for doing a lot of small things that made the world a better place. She helped the homeless and the poor and the hungry. And so that's what she's kind of famous for. It's one of my favorite quotes. So oftentimes the book starts with a display quote that is a favorite quote of the author's that sums up something about the book. So this book is about small things we can do to make the world a more peaceful, happy place. Sometimes I worry. Sometimes I feel sad if I place my attention on things that are bad. And I think all of us have been there, right? Don't we all have worries that sometimes worries are things that make us mad or things that make us feel sad or stressed out a little bit? Might be something small, might be something large, but it's easy to feel kind of gloomy like this guy feels, right? I think of something unfair and I pout. Sometimes I get angry and I stomp and I shout. Am I the only one who's ever done that? I hope not. I bet you've had those moments too. There are lots of big problems that can turn my mood sour, for as one little person, I don't feel I have power. All of us have times when we have a problem or a worry or something that's making us sad or angry or disappointed, frustrated. That's something we can't control. There's a lot of things, even as a grown-up, that I may be upset about that I can't change or fix. That's just kind of part of life. But then I look up at the sun and the sky and think of all the small things I can do if I try. So let's think about that. Things that might make you feel happier or things that might make the world more peaceful, happy, and fun for someone else. I can pick up a piece of trash that's been tossed. Or I could help find a home for a pet who is lost. Those are two small things that you can do to make the world a better place. I can give of my time if I have some to lend, or share some of my lunch with a hungry friend. I could go call for help for someone who's in trouble or offer a hand to step over a puddle. My husband just did that for me the other day. I came up to a big puddle and he knew I didn't want to get my new boots wet, and he offered me his hand so I could take a big step over that puddle. It was a small thing, but it made my world a better place for that day. I can play with my puppy and toss him a treat. I have a new puppy at home this Christmas, and I've been doing this a lot. and it makes his world a more happy, peaceful place. And you know what's kind of funny is when you do something kind, something small for someone else, it's really funny how it kind of makes you feel better too. To the new kid on the bus, I can offer a seat. So some of you may know what it's like to feel like you're the new kid at school or on the bus or on the playground. It's not a good feeling if you don't have any friends yet. So a small thing you can do is to extend the hand of friendship to someone who's new in your class, in your neighborhood, on your bus, on the playground. To prepare for a test, I could help someone study, or I can take a moment to mop if I made the floor muddy. That would be a small thing you could do that would make your mom, your dad, your grandma, your grandpa, whoever you live with, that would make their life much better if you clean up your own messes. I can be kind to all beings, even a bug. Or to someone who's hurting, I could offer a hug. Now, I want to ask you something really quick. When we've talked about a lot of these things, picking up the trash, giving someone a hug when they're not feeling happy, offering to help someone study for a test, do any of the things we talked about cost any money? Nope, not a cent. You don't have to go to the store. You don't have to wrap them. They're just kind things that you can do that usually just involve your thoughtfulness and your time. I can plant a small tree that will someday give shade. Or, here's one of my favorites, deliver some cookies from a batch I just made. At Christmas time, right now, I like to spend time baking in my kitchen, because then I like to make trays of cookies to take to my neighbors or to my brothers and sisters at their house for their family to enjoy at Christmas. So that's a small thing you can do that a lot of people really appreciate. I can offer my jacket to someone who's chilly, or just help someone know that their feelings aren't silly. Who's a person that you can go to that you could talk to and they will always listen, and that you know that they won't make you feel silly for being angry or sad or frustrated or worried? Everybody needs a friend like that. It might be a friend, it might be a teacher, it might be a family member. Think about that. And also, who could you be a friend to in that way? I can't solve all problems or fix all the world's sorrows. Sorrows, that's a new vocabulary word for some of us. Anybody know what sorrows means? It's a longer word for things that make you sad. Sorrows. I can't fix all problems or solve all the world's sorrows, but I can sleep well and do my part tomorrow. So I'll gaze at the moon and the stars up above, and then wake to do lots of small things with great love. So when you are lying in bed at night, sometimes that's the time of day when I have time to think about things, and sometimes I might worry about something that's coming up tomorrow, or I might think about something that happened during the day that I'm not happy about. But then I always try to think, what could I do tomorrow that might make me feel better, or might make the world a more peaceful, happy place for someone else? Because it really is funny how doing small things with great love makes the world a more peaceful, happy place, not only for the person you did the nice thing for, but it makes you feel better too. And as we're coming up to the holiday season, you might be thinking to yourself, I'm not sure what I have to give to someone as a gift. We don't always have to give something that we bought at a store. We can give things that are just of our time and of our effort and of our thoughtfulness. So you might think to yourself, what kind of small things could I give to someone that would make their world a brighter place today? I hope you have a wonderful holiday break, and that you can think of lots of small things to do to make your world a better place, and the world at Washington Elementary a better place too. Thanks, and have a wonderful day.